I love me the convenience of a protein bar, but sometimes I do not like the ingredients in them. No. So I have decided to make my own perfect protein bar, and it is honestly the best. It's got 16 grams of protein and 6 grams of fiber in each bar. It's made with a lot of seriously healthy whole food heavy hitters like oats, dates, hemp seeds. It's totally gluten-free, no refined sugars, and it requires no baking. Plus they're absolutely delicious. I'm super excited to show you guys how to make these protein bars. So let's get into it. Hit that subscribe button first so you don't miss out on any of my healthy, high protein, delicious recipes. I hit the channel twice a week. And let's do this. Let's eat some protein. Just kidding, that is so not me. Yes, it is. So for this recipe, you're gonna need to pull out a food processor. With a spatula on top that falls. I guess you will need a spatula too, just be careful. Now, the way this recipe starts is with nut butter. Now, of course, let me just preface this by saying you can absolutely use a seed butter if you are nut free. But the way I like to do it is using PB Fit, aka powdered peanut butter. It's basically partially defatted peanut flour that's been lightly sweetened with a little bit of coconut sugar. And it's absolutely delicious and it adds a ton of protein. So I've got half a cup of PB Fit here. So in order to reconstitute it into an actual like drippy peanut butter, we're going to add 6 tablespoons of water and then just whisk it up until you have peanut butter. Easy as that. You can use regular peanut butter too, but just know that the macros will be slightly different as it will contain a little less protein and a little more fat. Then you can pour the peanut butter into the bowl of your food processor. Next is some dates. Now I have some little teeny dates here, teeny tiny ones. I actually don't know what they're called, but they're small, okay? So I've got about 12 of them, but if you just have kind of regular large medjool dates, you can use 8 of them. These are gonna add a lot of natural sweetness and some fiber and a lot of minerals and nutrients. Then to help everything blend, we're gonna add a 1/4 cup of soy milk, but you can always use any other plant milk that you prefer if you don't eat soy. We're gonna add a teaspoon of vanilla because it just makes it taste so good. And to help bring out all of the flavors, we're gonna add a 1/4 teaspoon of some salt. Now you're just gonna seal the lid and we're just going to blitz away on high speed for about 30 to 60 seconds, just until we've reached a nice, thick, smooth, creamy consistency. And that's about the texture we're looking for. Kinda just looks like peanut butter. That's what we want. Next up, we're gonna add, you guessed it, some rolled oats. Yep, some good old-fashioned rolled oats. Mine are sprouted and they're gluten-free. Sprouted just means they're a little higher in protein and a little bit more nutritious than their non-sprouted counterparts. Then we're gonna add about a cup of some plant-based protein powder. I'm gonna be using some of the Epic Protein from Sprout Living. It's one of my favorite plant-based protein powder brands out there. Their ingredients are so clean and they also add a lot of superfoods and nutrients into each blend, which I love. This flavor here is kind of like a vanilla banana flavor, which is delightful in this recipe. But some of their other flavors that I love that would be really good are their complete coffee or their chocolate maca. Highly recommend you take a look. And then for a final boost of some protein and some healthy fats and omega-3s, we're gonna add in a couple tablespoons of some hemp seeds. And then once again, you're gonna slap a lid on her and blend on high speed until you achieve a really thick, almost cookie dough-like texture. You wanna be able to kind of press it and squeeze it between your fingers and for it to kind of form into like dough, you know? You are most assuredly going to need to probably stop once or twice to kind of push things down if you find that your food processor is stalling or things just are having a hard time blending. And you can also add a couple tablespoons at a time of some water or plant milk just to get things moving along. And there we go, cookie dough, just like that. Lastly, but certainly not least, we're gonna add in some chalky chips. Yep, this is optional, okay? But I just like my protein bars with a little bit of extra, you know, good stuff. You could always add extra nuts, or you could add raisins or dried cranberries, whatever you want. Or you don't have to add anything at all. I've got 3 tablespoons of chocolate chips here. I'm gonna add half of them into the dough. We're just gonna stir it in right into the mix, right in the food processor. I'm gonna save the other remaining chocolate chips for the topping. Okay, so next you're just going to grab yourself kind of a long rectangular-ish baking tray, or it could be a loaf tin, which is actually what I'm using. And I've lined mine with some parchment paper. And we're essentially just going to transfer all of this dough here into of the tin with stealth and grace. And then just using your spatula, you can kind of just press it down into the bottom, and eventually you're going to form it into one smooth, even layer. Lastly, you could also just fold the parchment on top and use something kind of flat, like a bench scraper, and just kind of smooth it out this way, which is actually kind of a brilliant hack. And then we can take those final little chalky chips and just press them into the top if you want to be, you know, fancy. Brilliant! Now I recommend just letting them firm up and just chill in the fridge for at least an hour before cutting them into bars. Now, friends, if your laziness factor is at the pinnacle, like 10 out of 10 today, and you just don't feel like making protein bars, I totally get it. Say less. I recommend that you guys try out these bean bars from Well-Bean, who is the sponsor of today's video. As you may have gathered from the name, Well-Bean, their bars are made with beans. They're full of beans. Not only that, they're packed with other super healthy whole food plant ingredients. They're sweetened with dates, they add fruit, nuts, seeds, cacao, all natural, delicious ingredients that are super healthy for you. It's good to be full of beans, and these are absolutely full of beans. They have so many different flavors, and they use tons of different beans in each bar. Black beans, chickpeas, navy beans, pinto beans, all the beans. No sugar added. They're just pure, healthful, nourishing energy. That is a tasty little bean bar, y'all. If you guys want to try out Well-Bean for yourself, I got a sweet little discount code for you below where you can save 15% off your order at Well-Bean's website below. Check them out. I think you'll love them. All right, y'all, are we ready to crack into our protein bars that we have chilled in the fridge now over the last hour? Yes, we are. So all you gotta do is remove the bars from the tin using the parchment paper and just slice them into 8 equal bars. They'll look something like this. These are thick boys. They're honky, chunky, delicious. They're so chewy. The texture is outstanding. I don't like protein bars that are way too soft and just kind of like fall apart, but I also don't like ones that are too hard and like crispy. These are just perfectly soft and chewy. 16 delicious grams of protein, baby. Hope you guys love this recipe. Let me know in a comment below if you try it out. Give this video a big thumbs up. And again, don't forget to subscribe below. I love you guys so much. Thank you so much for being a part of my community. I will see you guys in another video real soon. Ta-ta!